Good morning, dear colleagues. I'm very happy to make a contribution today regarding aging job seekers. And normally it's very inappropriate, isn't it, if you ask someone's age. But in this case, I would like to ask you to raise hands. Who is over 50? Honestly speaking, yeah, you see, that's a very good start, isn't it? That's a very good start, isn't it? Okay, let us start with a presentation from the Netherlands. What I will do this morning is show you some developments of our labor market regarding aging, also in comparison to other job seekers, to other age groups. And also raise to you the importance of cooperation with other partners, amongst which the private entrepreneurs and temporary agents. And all this cannot work really well if there is no support from the government. Thank you. Thank you. So what you see here, the blue line is the development of the unemployment in the Netherlands, which used to be quite low, but also in the Netherlands we had quite a huge raise in unemployment for all age groups. And the red line that you see is for the aging job seekers. So as a matter of fact, you would say, well, that's more or less the same. So what's your problem? However, the problem is that from 2014 onwards, when the unemployment was decreasing again, what we saw then was that the aging population, that the unemployment was still rising, whereas the unemployment of the other age groups were decreasing. So, and that is something which is of a very large concern. Okay. Yes. This is another chart which I would like to share with you. This is the reason why an unemployment benefit has been terminated. And on the left-hand side, you can see the reasons for all age groups, and on the left and right-hand side you see it for the aging populations. What you can see is that the blue bar, it shows the work resumption, and the red bar, it shows the termination of unemployment benefits because the termination is because of there is no right for a benefit anymore. So the entitlement terminates. And the green bar is because of other reasons. And you see the green bar for aging persons, one of the reasons is that they go on a retirement. When we look at all age groups, the resumption to work, into work, for all age groups is 94%. And the best outflow to work is for the age group of 27 till 50 years, which is 53%. However, if we look at the aging population, the outflow to work is only 46%. So from the statistics, we can conclude that once an aging person is unemployed, it's very hard to get back to work, and probably in your countries that is the same. So we have to do something about that. So from what sectors do aging people come? Most of the time from finance sectors, especially the banking. There has been a lot of automation developments in the financial world, probably in your countries as well. From the healthcare, because there were severe austerity measures in the Netherlands, and there were not so many vacancies, and the industry also because of automation developments. This statistical information, we gather it only once in a few years because it's quite a lot of work to do it. But the interesting part for this, and I would like to stress on that, is that many aging job seekers do find work via temporary agencies. And it is about 1/3 of all job seekers, which is tremendously high. You know, there are many job seekers who used to think, oh, but working via a temporary agency, that's not really serious work, that's only temporary, I would like to have a firm contract. But now it has really changed. We also say as a best, no, if you are offered temporary work, it is serious work, you have to accept that. Because when you are longer unemployed, the chance of work resumption becomes worse and worse. So I think that everybody knows that within 6 months it is very important to find new work, and otherwise it becomes harder and harder. So temporary work and temporary work agencies in the Netherlands are very important employers. So what measures did the policymakers make? Well, everything in the Netherlands is focused on participation. It means mobility and lifelong learning. So there have been some changes in legislations lately, so from the 1st of January onwards. For instance, if somebody gets fired, the employer has to pay a transition fee, a transition compensation. It happens if an employee has been having a contract for 2 years at least. And part of the transition compensation can be used for training. So in order to stimulate mobility, amongst sectors also, because some sectors might have possibilities and others are really stuck and don't have any possibilities. So you need transfer from one sector to the other. Also, there has been made an amendment of the duration of benefit system. It was quite generous in the Netherlands, so it was dependent on the years that you had an employment contract, but it could be 38 months at a maximum, and that will reduce to 24 months only. So it means that once you are unemployed, there is more pressure to accept work. And also, we have a new legislation that after 6 months, any suitable job should be accepted. Also, if it is on a lower wage scale or a lower educational level than your former job. And we would, as PAS, pay for the difference between your lower wage and the level of the unemployment benefit. So in that case, work pays off always. So that's also quite important. Looking at the aging population, some measures have been taken also. So for instance, there is the possibility for an employer to receive a mobility bonus. That would be 7,000 euro per year with a maximum duration of 3 years. A trial placement, let's say someone thinks, well, I'm just doubting, should I hire this person, this aging person, yes or no? You can hire this person for 2 months, and our PAS would continue paying the unemployment benefit. And in case of job seekers, aging job seekers who are disabled or who are partly sick, we can offer a no-risk policy. It means that in case of sickness, we would pay 5 years the wage of the job seeker. The sector plans have been introduced a couple of years ago between the ministry and the social partners. And the aim of the sector plans was again to invest a lot of in trainings, trainings in order to stimulate the intrasectoral mobility of job seekers, and also to introduce apprenticeships for young people already. So those ones who have difficulties in the labor market. Our public employment service has received extra means for the 55 plus, and after we have implemented some projects, the ministry has decided to offer that also for 50 plus job seekers. So that was because we could prove the effectiveness of the tools that we have implemented. So what are then the tools that we have implemented? One of it is the network training successfully to work. So after 3 months of unemployment, a job seeker, an aging job seeker will be invited to participate to the network training. It is a small group of maximum 12 persons. And we offer 10 sessions, half-day sessions. And what we will do with the job seekers is we focus very much on networking. We focus very much on how do you seek for work. For instance, in the Netherlands, many people find work through LinkedIn, so we learn them how they should update their CV and present themselves through the social media. Also to get an insight in their own qualities and competences. And we practice with them all kinds of presentation techniques, like for instance the elevator pitch. I'm sure you have also done it once in your life. It is guided by expert advisors because we really think it's better to have dedicated counselors for this aging working group. There is also a structural link between the advisors, so the counselors, and the employer services that we have. So in the Netherlands, we do have 35 regional service points for employers. That is a cooperation between our PES and the municipalities, because the employers don't want to be approached by and the PES and the municipality and so on. So we have gathered, we have a common service, and we would, especially for those groups, seek for jobs, for vacancies. We do that together, as I just mentioned, with the municipality and with the private agencies, employment agencies. So what we also, as a second tool, what we also do organize are the inspiration days. And we are planning until 2016, 21 inspiration days. They are organized for both the job seekers and the employers. And what do we do there? It's a meeting place, it's a job market, it's a networking market for employers and employees. It is a mixture of knowledge and pleasure and network. So you will find inspiration during your job search. We stimulate employers to hire aging job seekers. We have, of course, some employers who have a kind of role. They are the role model, and they would argue that all the assumptions, I would say, against the aging populations, like it was already mentioned by the Bulgarian PES, that they would not be flexible. They are often ill. You know, those are assumptions which are simply not true. They are very much dedicated. They are not ill. They are flexible. So those employers try to stimulate other employers to hire them as well, the aging population. And what is also quite important, I would say not quite important, but even crucial, is the involvement of the employers. So what we have done is we have made the SMEs responsible for a project which is called Open for 50 Plus. Because we as a PES, we could say to the employers, well, there are some assumptions and aging population is discriminated. This is the reason why you should hire aging population. It is much better if SMEs and if employers tell themselves and amongst each other stimulate the hiring of aging population. And that's why a project was launched. and the SMEs are responsible for media campaigns just to promote the employment for the aging population. So there is a continuous discussion at a national and regional and local level. And the objective is the commitment of employers to offer opportunities to the group of aging job seekers. The media campaign that has been launched is to improve the image of the target group and expanding the network and offering, of course, vacancies. And the commitment is that at least the aging population, the aging job seekers are invited for a network interview or a job interview. And promotion is organized by films, by press conferences, by banners, so it's a whole media campaign. We also do offer training vouchers for short training, shorter than 1 year. For instance, obtaining a driver license. It could well be that you get a job after having followed a short training. We provide that either to the employer or the job seeker, and it is, of course, only for promising occupations. So there should be a very good chance of work. And as I already mentioned, the temporary agencies in the Netherlands are quite important employers. That's why we have introduced a placement fee for the temporary agencies according to the duration of the employment contracts. And it means that it will be an amount between 3,000 and 1,500 euro, dependent on the months of employment. And I must really say that it has helped a lot, those measurements and those tools. So how do we monitor the progress? Because you can make nice agreements, but what happens and who is monitoring? Well, that is a supervision commission, and who is in that? That is our PAS, UWV, the social partners, the umbrella organizations of the temporary agencies, the umbrella organization of the municipalities and the ministry. And all of us, we just monitor on the progress, and if it's necessary, then other measures will be taken and other steps will be taken also. Looking at the results, the participants of the network trainings, we have planned between 2015 and 2017, 129,000. And up to October this year, so only in 2015, 36,000 aging job seekers have followed those network trainings. The provided placement fees this year till October are 6,500, and the planning is 22,500 up to 2017. We have provided 6,800 training vouchers already, and maybe the most interesting part is the outflow to work. If we compare the outflow to work of the aging population in 2015 compared to 2014, it is plus 13%, and if we compare 2015 with 2013, it is plus 48%. Yeah, it is quite difficult, of course, to say, is there a causal relationship between the measures and the outflow? You know that proving causal relationships is quite difficult, but I think that we should look at the figures, and I'm really sure that all the measurements taken and all the policy measures taken by the government and the implemented tools have really contributed to a larger outflow to work. So I thank you very much.
Okay. So thank you very much for sharing with us your practices, and I was really impressed for these days, the days, inspiration days. So let's hope that today and tomorrow we will also have 2 inspiration days. That was a really perfect label that you have put. So, esteemed participants, we expect your remarks, comments, questions to Ms. Peters. Yes, you have the floor.
Moi, j'aimerais connaître la durée de...
I'm from Morocco. I would like to know what is the period of time in which you have calculated the number of the people who found jobs. And also, did you evaluate the follow-up? Because the increase in the percentage is good, but there will be many left doomed to long-term unemployment. Thank you.
Yes, the figures that we have calculated is since 2009, when the crisis started and the unemployment raised. And yes, we still have a lot of unemployed aging job seekers in our caseload, that's true, especially low skilled. So, you know, we have to just keep on giving them the attention and looking for jobs. I mean, the labor market in the Netherlands is better now. So we have to continue guiding them to a job. But indeed, it is not always very easy to do that.
Заповядайте, тук има друг въпрос.
Yes, another question.
Come from Sweden. I have a question, Corine, concerning, or more, I would like to listen to your reflection. In a country like the Netherlands with such a low unemployment rate and participating in the part of the world where the war for talent is so big, it is a little surprisingly to me with all the amazing efforts you make for this age group. So I would like to listen to your reflection concerning the relation between the support to this group in comparison to other groups on your labor market, like the young, like other that might be in a difficult situation. It seems like this is a very strong support for a specific group. So if you could provide us with some kind of reflection in comparison to others. Thank you.
Yes, Elizabeth, that's indeed true. In the Netherlands, we have, actually we do provide digital services to most of the job seekers. I would say that about 90% of the unemployment beneficiaries, they use e-services. And we have, I would say, limited the face-to-face services to only to those groups who have really the biggest difficulties in the labor market, being the aging. It's true, like my Moroccan colleague also said, they have a big chance for long-term unemployment, also in the Netherlands. And other group would be the disabled. They get a lot of face-to-face services also. Younger people, I must say that that problem is not so huge. When we see the labor market is improving, the first ones finding a job are the youngsters. Yeah, so disabled and the aging populations are really our target groups, so we say, okay, we do put the efforts and the means in those groups who needed it the most. So that would be my reflection. Is that sufficient? Okay, thank you.
Мисля, че няма.
I don't think there are more questions. Yes, there are. Yes.
I'm new from Korea. I have a question about the network training successfully into work. According to your presentation, the PS involved after 3 months of unemployment. But some countries wait for 3 months or 6 months before they involved with the unemployed people. But some countries classify the unemployed people at the beginning stage by the in-depth job counseling. So I think one of the good methods to improve the long-term unemployment is early identification and early involvement is quite important. So I'd like to ask, why do you wait for 3 months for your involvement? Thank you.
Thank you very much for your very interesting question. This 3 months has been based on the budget that we have been provided with in the last years. We had tremendous austerity measures, so half of our budget was cut. Many of you have been attending my presentations about e-services, and it was all about the budget. What we have been doing since then is developed a profiling instrument. It has now been rolled out over the country. And we had also some, I must say, renegotiations with our ministry, because we as a PES, we have also mentioned that it would be better to see our unemployed job seekers, especially those ones who have the chance getting long-term unemployed, to see them earlier, at an earlier stage. And we have been promised that there will be extra budget for that in the coming years. We are very happy with that. So your question and your remark is, thank you very much for that. And we will also change that, because we do share your vision of taking it up from the very first day of unemployment, and if possible even earlier. So early profiling, yes. So we will change that. Thank you.
Благодаря.
Thank you. Other comments?
It's my turn.
Заповядайте.
Okay, thank you. I'm Peter Myklebust from Norway. I wonder about immigrants of the first and second generation. You are a country of immigration from your colonial past, etc. How do you deal with older immigrants? Thank you.
Thank you for your question. There is not a separate policy as such. So I would say that everything that I have presented includes the immigrants of the first and second generation. There is no separate policy for that.
Yes, thank you. You mentioned, and we all know, that e-services are really largely developed and implemented in the Netherlands. Have you seen in some results or evidence or studies about which is the behavior of seniors with e-services? For example, there is a training and a network for social media, but have you others tools or others programs for it? Most important is, have you some studies and some evidence about these issues with seniors?
No, not as such, Annie, but what we do from the beginning, so we very much focus on those unemployment recipients. And once we see that someone, if it is an aging job seeker or not, doesn't matter, when we see that somebody is not able to use the digital skills, we would help them. We provide either face-to-face services or we give them some support on digital services. However, many elderly job seekers who have been employed for many years, they simply didn't, there was not really a reason why they should develop those skills eventually, because also, I mean, there is an assumption that elderly job seekers cannot use digital skills, but that's not true. More often, young people have more difficulties using the skills, the digital channel than the elderly ones, and that is because of life experience and because of working experience. However, if, for instance, the elderly job seekers do lack in the new digital developments like social media, those skills will be learned during the network training. So that is how we support the elderly job seekers.
Благодаря. Други коментари, други въпроси?
Аз бих искала да задам.
Other questions, please? Yes, I would like to ask Corine the following. The supervising committee, monitoring committee, my question is, are the results of the work of this monitoring committee taken into consideration whenever developing or changing the policies for the employment? Or maybe the monitoring committee has the obligation to just find out how far have things been developed?
Question. Yeah, there is of course a relationship between the monitoring and the results gained by the monitoring and the amendments in policy, especially whilst the ministry is also involved and is one of the participants of this monitoring supervising commission. So there is always a linkage between those two, and which is good because it means that you can take quick steps if necessary.
Благодаря.
Thank you. I don't... over there. Yes, you have the floor. Hello, I'm Slavka Radeva. I work for the employment agency in Bulgaria, and I would like to thank for the very interesting presentation, and it was quite inspiring for us. Because I deal with mobility mainly, I heard something about voucher mobility or bonus mobility in relation to unemployment and the social partners. Can you please tell us more about it? What's the use? What's the reason for having it? And when speaking about mobility, do you mean by professional mobility or territorial mobility? Or what are the distances for supporting this mobility, etc.?
If I use the word mobility, I'm always speaking about professional mobility from one sector to the other, because one sector might lack vacancies and another sector might be able to offer vacancies. So what you have to do in that case is to invest in skills. So that is one thing. The mobility bonus is an incentive offered by the government. It is a premium discount for employers. And why? What is the aim of it? The aim is to stimulate employers to hire elderly job seekers. Similar bonuses similar premium discounts do also applied to, for instance, the disabled. So the government has the aim that those ones who have a very far distance from the labor market, we should support them more. Yeah, so employers are provided and with premium discounts if they hire either an aging job seeker or a disabled job seeker. Or in some other countries it could be young job seekers.
Благодаря на Корин. Не виждам други въпроси.
Thank you, Corinne. I don't see any other questions, so let's continue with Susanne Kratz and her presentation.